Hello, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Outlying Adventures, our Orizon campaign. We're so excited to be back with you guys after a brief hiatus, some people being on break, and just a need for some time to return to the campaign, but we are back at it, back into the action. So before we get started, I would like to firstly give a quick apology to anybody who watches these streams on YouTube. We are currently streaming episode 6. You will see in about 2 days that episode 6 will launch on the YouTube channel, and there is no episode 5. And that is because my audio input was not captured by OBS for stream 5, so that VOD was completely useless. I'm very sad about it, but I'm new to this. I am working on the behind the scenes, running the show here, and I am still learning as I go. I believe I figured out those issues, and going forward, I am triple checking every single time. You might have seen me do that in some of the Elden Ring streams, just at the very beginning, making sure that all is good, and it looks like, right now, all is good, unless someone wants to tell me otherwise.
No, your audio is audible.
Good.
You're good. You're good.
I had a feeling. I was pretty sure that I fixed that, but it's good to have confirmation. So regardless, there will be a brief recap. I'm planning on getting this. This is just for the live streamers, for the people in the audience right now. I am planning on posting a brief recap video for episode 5 onto YouTube before episode 6 drops, so that should get out tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see what if I can actually get that out. Describing the events as they happen. Hopefully that will be enough, but that is my apology to the two folks. In any case, we are back at it, and barring acts of God or technical deviancy, we can go forward without issues. So,
hooray!
Last session was quite an eventful session. Adventurers, you had all found yourselves in the bay of Miota, having sailed out on the fishing vessel of Coda June in search of the captain, the older friend of the young chef Enkai, who had gone missing the night before, seemingly disappeared. Clues followed, led you to finding that his boat had been seen taken out of the port and sailed into the bay. Following that, you found his boat, abandoned, bobbing in the water, anchored to the reef. You collectively, and with Enkai's insight, figured that the captain was here. He was after something, and most likely, that something was Leviathan, a hypothetical gargantuan sea creature that was confirmed to have existed with some investigation to the captain's property, finding a massive shed lobster shell. You all believe that the captain had gone after this creature himself, be it for pride reasons or something else entirely. You're not certain. But regardless, you bravely dove into the surf, trying to find your way to rescue the captain, having found Leviathan's den, a massive undersea cave beneath the waves. There was a brief incident where Hina had gotten caught in the undercurrent, a very powerful undercurrent here in the Miota Bay. The least seasoned swimmer of the group, unfortunately, could not get her bearings quite well. Got snagged into a coral patch, but was rescued shortly thereafter. Following that, you all ventured into the cave, finding that it was confusing. A purposefully carved layout where the local flora and fauna had very strange attributes about them. Especially bright colorations, and especially large these creatures were, clinging to the cave walls, but otherwise benign. They didn't harm you, they didn't try to hinder your way, and eventually you found yourselves in an air pocket within this cave, within this complex. Within the air pocket was the haggard and raggedly breathing form of the captain himself, barely clinging to life. As you rushed to heal him, he warned you about blood dripping into the water, and before you could all react, Leviathan showed itself, emerging from the waters and attacking you all. Battle ensued, where Satoshi Clarabelle especially, was harried by the great lobster
harried is a good word.
Leviathan. Trapped in its claws, spending most of that battle unconscious and nearly being killed by the sea beast. Thankfully, in the end, Leviathan was dispatched by our resident wizard Yanni with a well-placed, I believe it was a lightning-based chromatic orb that did the beast in.
So
coming to that, first things first. Hydrabot, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit. You're a little loud. So,
impossible.
We are going to pick up now, still in this undersea cave, as the battle has ended, Leviathan falling to the ground, a slightly quivering mass of chitin and blood. Its vice-like grip relinquishes Satoshi Clarabelle, and who else does it have in its claws?
Mako.
It looks like Mako. And Kai is also grappled. I'm not entirely certain if that was a mistake on my part, or if he was grappled by something else. Regardless, those within the claws of Leviathan are released as the creature goes limp. You all realize the battle has come to an end. You're not quite out of the woods yet. You're still in this beast's lair, and you still have the massive corpse of the sought-after crustacean before you.
And Mako and Clarabelle are currently unconscious.
Is that right?
So, yeah.
We have some unconscious. I don't remember if you are making death saves.
We were.
No. I will cast Healing Word on Clarabelle.
Okay, you're gonna go ahead and cast Healing Word on Clarabelle.
Yeah, my last spell.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
A good choice for a last spell, though.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
So that would be 8 points of healing to Clarabelle.
Okay.
Very
Huge modifier there.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Old high for that charisma slot.
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative. Thank you, young one.
It's fine. Mako will be fine.
I'll help. Well, I figured that Clarabelle could heal Mako.
Give me.
That's
certainly
fair.
do that.
Actually, that's a good idea.
All right.
No worries. I'll take care of that.
Oh yeah, I'll come down here.
And Clarabelle, well, of course. Cure wounds.
Hooray! Hooray!
All right.
I actually have to try to throw the spell. That would be nice.
Is it popping up the thing that's like, what level?
we only have one spell slot level, right? So.
Yeah, it still wants to
You guys
ask.
are still at level 2, so level 1 spells only. But regardless, it's fine. You, both of you, administer these healing spells. First, Hina, getting closer to Clarabelle, whispering this word of resolve into the unconscious Clarabelle's ears. Clarabelle, your eyes flutter open. You gasp in a bit of air, and very quickly assessing the situation, see that Mako is currently on the ground, unconscious, twitching slightly, but otherwise not moving, and understanding her condition right away, you go over, laying your hands upon her, granting this warm, healing light into her body, and shortly thereafter, Mako, you also awaken.
Yay! We lived! That's good. Okay.
Now to what we do next.
Yeah, now what? The Leviathan's dead, and he's definitely not going to be able to make his soup. We're not getting this thing out of here, and it's probably rotting very quickly, unless something we don't know about.
Enkai's not unconscious. He is.
Okay.
He is very hurt. He is very much messed up. You can see there are a couple of large gashes across his body. Nothing that went too deep into his flesh, thankfully. Just mere flesh wounds, but they are large. and he is breathing quite heavily. He's currently trying to support the captain, who's a bit of a frail old man, but standing on his feet regardless, kind of shouldering and resting on the harpoon he was wielding after he wrenches it free from the armor of Leviathan. And Kai, you okay, old man? The captain kind of shakes Enkai's hand off his shoulder. I'm fine. Nothing I can't handle. The captain looking to the rest of you as you all kind of gather in this space. He doesn't say anything out loud, but there's this silent acknowledgement to all of you. Just a look in his eyes that gives off a bit of gratitude, much more than the old man would allow himself to say. He clears his throat. Did any of you happen to bring a drink with you? Anything at all?
Oh.
No? Nothing?
Let me see, just a moment. Goodness gracious.
Did you? Did you actually?
I think Hina has a water skin.
Just hand him that, like, yeah, I brought a drink. And
Yeah.
This is awful.
He said a drink, so yeah, I have a water skin.
Do you hand over the water skin?
Yeah, he said a drink. It's a drink.
He takes the water skin, doesn't even think about it. It's instinctual at this point. As he opens the water skin, tilts it up, pressing it to his lips. A bit of water splashes down out of the corners of his mouth. He coughs, regards it with disgust, kind of just tossing it back to you. You can choose whether you want to catch it or not, otherwise it's just going to fall onto the ground. I've spent... I don't know how many hours sober down here, but it's too long.
Hours?
It's been too long.
Hours, dude!
You said a drink, you didn't specify. It's a drink. Aren't you dehydrated? And bleeding?
Checks himself. There are patches of blood stains across his clothing, though he had been healed shortly after you guys entered this cave initially. So he's fine. His wounds are sealed. He is in very stable condition despite the what the blood stains across him suggest. I think I should be dead, but I'm not. So I'd like to drink another day.
Or maybe we should get out of here before we start counting ourselves alive. Just saying.
Yes, let's get out of here.
Because what if there's 2 or 4?
What if?
And by the way, NK, I don't think you should eat this. Like, I'm not an expert on cooking, but this doesn't look like a lobster thing. This looks like not a lobster thing.
And Kai's looking at the corpse of Leviathan, just regarding it with his eyes. He steps closer to it, begins just kind of inspecting the corpse with his hands. The captain speaks up. No, there's not 2, there's not 4. This here was the only one. The only dweller in this cave. The sole matron. And it's dead.
Can't matrons have babies?
Aye. And I think this one was close.
Oh. So there's still, like, lobster eggs underneath it, then?
You guys are welcome to inspect the body if you'd like.
Might be a good idea to make sure it's not, like,
the smell.
actively...
Actually, I don't even want to.
I'm gonna pull Yuri off the body so he doesn't start, like, trying to, like, bite it and elude it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because he's like, lobster's delicious, but no, we're not eating this.
You pull Yuri from the corpse of Leviathan. He is drenched. He is absolutely soaked, both in water and in blood. And he's in very rough shape. But you pull him off. You put him on your shoulder. Anyone who would like to roll a investigation or nature check on the body of Leviathan may do that now.
Definitely will try.
Investigation of nature. Let's do a nature.
14 for Mako.
Not bad.
Oh, what was the other one that you said we could do?
Investigation is a viable option.
Sure.
Investigation or nature? No, it does not matter. Oh shit!
19 investigation on Hina. All right. Pretty good.
16 for me.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, what was that, Yami?
16 for me.
A 16 for you, and that's investigation?
Mm-hmm.
And then a 6 for Clarabelle. So Clarabelle, you hobble on over to the corpse of Leviathan, giving it a brief once-over, and you can conclude without a shadow of a doubt that this is definitely the body of a lobster. It is a huge lobster, but you know that it's a lobster. On the nature side of things, for Mako, with that 14, you do a bit more of a thorough investigation, and while this creature is obviously impossible in its size for what it is meant to represent, and along with a couple of outlying mutations to its form, just a bit of jaggedness in parts of its chitin armor. Some of its limbs are misshapen. They are not symmetrical in size, be it length or just general structure. There is definitely a kind of a patchwork look to the different parts of this creature. Regardless, it does mostly resemble a typical saltwater lobster. It at a non-thorough glance, it looks fine, and you do indeed get a look in its underside, near where its tail is, and there is a clutch of hundreds upon hundreds of eggs. But you see that none of these eggs contain live young, or even correctly developing young. Many of them have died off entirely. And it appears that they have died off at different points within the last, you posit, maybe within the past week or so. That this is not destined to be a healthy brood, and you are not confident that any will emerge, especially now that the mother has died.
Yeah, I see. That's kind of sad.
On the investigation side of things, both Hina and Yami got above 15. So both of you notice this. As you're looking at this creature, just looking for anything out of the ordinary, you do see something. On its head, poking out from the left side of its jaw, where its mandibles are, there is something that at a glance looks just like another part of its chitin, just another part of its shell. It is a jagged, crimson-red chunk that is just jutting out from the side of its head. But you see, this is not a protrusion. This is not part of the shell. This is something that is breaking through. And Hina, as with that 19, as you take an even closer look and begin to handle this thing, you see that there is a seam around where this object is breaking through, and along that seam are a number of, I want to say, tendons or tendrils. There are attachment points that are keeping this thing connected to the creature as it is jutting through the side of the armor.
So it's like a foreign object?
It looks visually, it does not look out of place, but getting close to it, running a hand along it, you find that it is not of the same texture of the lobster's chitin. And it does not look like it belongs, but you're not entirely certain what it is.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna point it out to Yami. And I'm be like, what do you think this is?
No, jeez, I don't know, guys. It's a slimy creature, and we're down here in the water, and there's things all around, and I just know I don't like it.
Fortune favors the bold! I have a rapier and a dagger. Let's go.
All right.
What?
I assume you are attempting to remove this object, Hina.
Yeah, why not?
You may go ahead and give me either a general dexterity check or a survival check.
Oh man, neither of those are great.
Doing that, can I help by casting the spell guidance?
You may absolutely do that.
I
That's
will
D4.
aid her endeavor.
Oh,
Oh.
natural one.
I cannot aid you in your endeavor.
A D4 is not going to help that.
Nope.
Hina,
Yeah.
I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please. Actually, this would be a charisma saving throw, which as a bard you should be fairly good at.
Well, don't jinx it there. 15.
Okay.
That's not terrible.
Hina,
Well,
you take 11 points of psychic damage.
Oh no! Well, good thing I'm at full.
1 moment.
what?
Oh no!
What the hell?
What did you do?
I fucked up.
1 moment. I have to do this a bit long-winded, but you guys know how much I like to change the music for ambiance.
The thing that she just wait. What happened again? She looked at the thing and she got blasted by the brain.
She tried to take it out.
Oh, to take out the thing. Okay.
And I crit failed.
Right.
Yep, you got that
yeah.
natural 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sponsored by no one.
Sponsored by absolutely
bad
nobody.
luck.
Sponsored by Dice Gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
Sorry,
It's all good.
music change is taking a little long. Discord on my Opera app is wanting me to go through 2-step verification because of course
Thanks,
of all
buddy.
the days. But
Yeah.
I don't want to change. I don't want to input commands on my desktop app because that will mess up the cameras.
It's a delicate process.
It is a delicate process. And I am just going to take all of the steps necessary.
Oh boy.
Yep. Alright. There we go.
Oh boy.
I'll go ahead and turn HydraBot up a little bit.
Oh boy.
There we go. Hina, you attempt to extract this object from the shell of Leviathan, going in with a rapier, a dagger, and your winning attitude, believing yourself to be these tools to be necessary, all that is needed.
Yeah.
And you begin the process by jamming your hand right into the seam, attempting to pry apart a portion of the Leviathan shell so that you might take out this object with much ease. In the process, your hand slips a little bit, and the back of your knuckles rakes against the jagged edge of this object, immediately drawing blood.
Oh no.
You notice as this blood, your blood, soaks into the object, vanishing. You can almost swear that the crimson red that this object takes becomes a bit more vibrant in its hue. But you don't have the time to think about that fact before your mind is flooded with light. There is a searing pain that surges through your whole body. You find yourself unable to move, unable to speak. The rest of you watch as Hina cuts herself on this thing, goes, ah, shit, and just freezes where she is.
Oh no.
The rapier clatters out of her hand, falling to the ground. She begins to hyperventilate. Hina,
Right.
you see as the light in your vision clears. You see water. You see sand, coral, fish. An undersea environment all around you. You realize that you are crawling along the bottom of the sand, very slowly, very intently, not with any direction, only with a purpose. Survive, consume, and you continue to crawl along the bottom of the surf until you see a glint of crimson in the side of your vision. The scene then changes at an instant. Nothing but darkness surrounds you. Darkness and a pale red light at the edges of your vision on either side. You instinctively attempt to look towards these light. You see nothing. That light remains in your periphery.
Mm-hmm.
It grows brighter. It grows brighter.
Oh no.
And you don't see anything, but you feel a wash of hot breath run down your neck.
Oh boy.
You feel the breath of something gargantuan behind you. Do you do anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn around.
You're gonna turn around?
Oh,
Sure.
no hesitation.
Someone's breathing on me. What is that?
Turn around.
Creepy!
Is it not repeating? It's not repeating.
Creepy crawlies!
Okay, cool. I looped it. You turn around, and this time, the light does not stay where it is. It begins to encompass the entirety of your vision, as if you are turning into the face of a crimson light bulb shining in your face. This light encompasses everything.
Ooh.
But you are certain that you are facing whatever is breathing at you. It is breathing in your face. You feel it across your entire body. All of you watch as Hina collapses onto the ground,
Ah, jeez.
and then begins to move as Hina, you regain sense of yourself. You are here. You are among friends. You remember what you saw, but only vaguely. Very vaguely.
Mako will, like, move over to Hina, and I guess technically they're, like, over there, so, like, but, like, she'll move. And just, like, crouch down next to her and just, like, are you okay? What happened? What happened?
Hina's gonna like sit bolt upright, and she'll say, "I was reincarnated as a lobster, and I met God."
Oh my god.
What?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I got reincarnated, and I was a lobster, and I was running around, and I saw like something red, and then lights, lots of lights, and then God, and then I'm here. On the floor.
But you just reached in. Did you touch the red thing?
I mean, I was really careful, so no.
That...
As I have blood running down my hand. Definitely
Super
didn't.
careful.
No.
I was so careful.
Super careful.
Very careful.
Yes.
But question though, my hand that is bleeding, is it still bleeding?
It's still bleeding. It's
Is
not a
there
very
any-
deep cut. It's
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not a deep cut, but it is actively seeping blood.
Cool.
Just fine. I'm sure that's fine.
Okay.
I don't feel great.
Do we want to keep trying to get that out, or should we just?
I thought you guys wanted
not
to eat this.
touch it.
Does she look like she's in dire need for medical aid?
I figured that Mr. Cook guy was just gonna use a knife, and a rapier is just a really big knife, so I could just use it.
Does her wound seem to need immediate attention?
And
The wound
Kai,
is my brain.
and
My brain
Kai
hurts.
speaks up. Yeah, you don't look so great. Looking kind of at you, Clarabelle, a bit expectantly. I don't really have anything that can help that. It's not
That's
something I can
fine.
do.
I'll certainly take care of things.
Half of the mask lifts up and she just barfs like off to the side. And then she just like sits back up like there's like
There you are, dear. Your
thank
hand
you.
and wound should be fine now.
Yeah, you heal 10 hit points.
Ooh.
The wound on your hand closes, but more than that, you feel that that lingering, less of pain and more of just like a fuzzy warmness at the back of your skull is alleviated.
Mm.
And Enkai speaks up again. Well, in regards to eating this thing,
be careful of your hands.
We should at least take the head.
Oh my gosh. But I think I actually may agree.
I mean, not much meat to get from the head, but
No, there's a thing in the skull that made it like God. There's God in the skull.
Not registering exactly what you're saying. Regardless, he does step up to where you investigating. And you pointed out he sees it. Kind of looks at the knife in his hand. I can give it a go if you want me to.
I mean, fortune favors the bold. Who knows what this could be? It's a piece of God. Why don't you want that?
Oh my God.
You could sell this, and then you could save your business.
I don't think...
Everyone wins!
I don't think it's a good idea to actually sell this thing and get it out into... Do you see what I did to you?
No. It's God. It's okay.
It's fine.
Well, Enkai rolls a 3. He has a high dexterity modifier though. So
I think he has an inspiration. Did he use it?
Oh, does he have a bardic inspiration?
He does. If he didn't use it last game.
I don't believe he used it last game. No, I don't think he needed to. He was landing his hits.
He still has it.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and roll that d6. Well, he rolled a 5. So that gets him above 10. That's not enough to extract the thing, but it is enough for him to kind of assess the object that is protruding from the corpse. He kind of starts to get in there with his knife. He does sever a couple of these ligaments that are fixing the object into the corpse. But as he tries to wiggle it out, it is unyielding, and after a good 5 minutes, he shakes his head, kind of just wipes his blade clean, and I don't think I can get this thing out.
Even with a little help?
Well, it depends on what help you're offering.
Well, I'll show a few weak points, I think, where we can perhaps...
By all means. So how are you going to attempt to help Enkai? He can try and do this again, but the DC is going to be raised for him.
Well, I try to provide whatever tools. Of course, I have a shovel.
I don't think a shovel's going to help in this point.
Shovel.
I'm gonna show him what not to do. What I did.
That's a good point.
I have not many tools, I guess, to guide him. I do think that I could show the weak points in the shell where the place is. Never mind, I don't even want to look at the thing.
Right. Well, if you want to try and help him, do you have proficiency in the survival skill?
Well, I might. Just a moment, let me see.
I think Yuri does.
I do.
I am.
Oh, Mako does good.
Survival, yes.
Right. Well, if anybody so for those of you who have proficiency with the survival skill, one of you can give him the help action. Since you have proficiency in that skill, he will make a survival check with advantage, keeping in mind that the DC, the total DC for extraction, is raised, and his survival modifier is not great.
I see.
Well, I do have proficiency in survival.
Well, by all means, if you would like to attempt to extract the thing, you may do so.
I think that I would like to give it a shot.
All right. Clarabelle, please give me a survival check in that case.
Guide yourself.
Nice.
Oh, damn!
With a non-natural 20. Yeah, that's going to do it. Handily, as Clarabelle... You take one look at this thing. You see the cuts that Enkai has already made. You look at it. You give it a good old look at up and down. glance over at Enkai, snatch the knife right out of the youngster's hand, and go to work, expertly and deftly carving this object out of the shell. You find the exact points where the ligaments are fixing it into the corpse, the ones that are structural and the ones that are there but are weaker. They're the way that these, again, I'm going to call them tendons, because that's kind of like what they are. You find that some of them are very strong and fixed to points that make sense to keep this object inside of the corpse, and others they're more erratic. They're weaker. They don't make much sense. You are, in a way, carving into a massive tumor that has formed around this object inside the head of Leviathan. And cutting those necessary ligaments takes you a couple minutes, but after those few minutes, you rip the object right out of the skull of Leviathan. It is a jagged piece of, you're not sure what material it is. It is a dark red, bordering on crimson, but much darker. It has kind of a shininess to it, and it's about that big. It is jagged on one end.
Would be magical in any way, glowing or harmonizing, vibrating, or anything else? Or is it just dormant?
Well, that shininess that it has, that sheen, the luster that this material has, does suggest it might be magical in nature. You're not certain if this would be arcane magic or anything similar of that structure.
If you look,
yep,
is there anything that I see that might indicate?
All right, made your Arcana check. You rolled a 13. I'm going to say you are not certain.
Okay.
You don't know.
Well, here is the device. I shall pass it over to Mako and say, anything look familiar to you? And I'll, of course, open the door to any of the rest of the party. Maybe keep it away from Yuri. He looks like he's interested and he might run off with it.
Yuri's eyes are wide. They are looking at this thing, but you do see that there is a bit of hesitation as he does glance at Hina's hand, where there is no longer a wound, but he is staring at Hina's hand as if the cut were still there. So he's interested in the object, but he hesitates.
Got it.
Enkai takes a step back, kind of throws up his hands, assuming that you hand him his knife back, steps away. I don't want anything to do with that.
I thought you wanted to eat it.
Right.
Points to the lobster. This, yes, points to the object. That, if that can make me see God, no interest whatsoever.
Excellent. Well, Yami, Mako, Hina, we shall perhaps need to investigate this object and why it drove this lobster thing so mad. None of you guys have any information or seen this such a thing? I certainly have not.
I feel like that's a problem for the researchers to handle.
I don't think Mako's seen anything like this before. Like, I don't think so.
Would Yami have seen something like this?
Possibly. Make me either a nature check or a religion check.
Come on, Yami. Come on.
Yami, help us out. Don't make us go upstairs and have to go to town and tell people about this thing.
24.
Damn!
24. And is that for nature or religion?
Religion.
That's for religion? You don't know what this is. You
have no idea.
You take the object in your hands, you very very carefully handling it, turn it over in your palms, trying to glean if there is any kind of significance to this thing in the stories of your village, if there might be anything similar in those folk tales. And there is an energy to it. As you hold it, there is a weight to this object that goes beyond the actual heft to it, and it's It's relatively hefty. It weighs maybe 3 or 4 pounds, despite being only about that big. It's heavier than it looks. You turn it over, you focus on that shininess, and you're struggling. You feel like this should mean something to you. You are certain that there is significance to this thing in one way or another, but you can't pin it down.
How troubling.
Indeed.
First the mushroom, now this. I should know some of these things.
Maybe you could put it in some blood.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, what?
No. I'm saying that, like, the thing likes blood. Like, it likes blood. Like, it eats blood. It ate the blood.
I feel like we're not talking about the same thing right now.
Is that how you saw a god?
Yeah, I cut myself, and then some of the blood kind of fell out of my hand onto the thing, and then I got a headache and saw God. But I was a lobster first.
Oh.
Okay.
But
So the object obviously makes people hallucinate. It seems that with the mind being so faulty of this enormous creature, that perhaps it is the root cause of its madness. Now, what is it? If it should be given to the authorities, or perhaps we should go to some wizards or some arcanists that are more proficient at this than us.
I mean,
think
Yami's a wizard, I think.
I think that most of us don't have the resources to know a crystal of this unique character.
I mean, it's a rock.
It is.
Maybe
What do
we
you
should get out of the cave.
I agree with that completely.
I also agree with that. Seems a shame. We gives a bit of a side glance to the captain. He does, and Kai doesn't say anything, but there is a disappointment in his face. He looks back at the body of Leviathan. I'd really hope this would turn everything around, but why did you do it, old man? Why'd you come down here? And the captain,
that's a good question.
still leaning on the harpoon, neutral expression on his face.
I mean, you could have waited.
It could have waited.
All of you walked into the restaurant. You'd killed a couple of crabs. And you agreed to help out the young kid here. We're killing this thing. Cooking it up. That's commendable. I didn't think you could do it. One look was all I thought I needed. I thought you would all die down here. And I wasn't gonna have you either dying or taking the glory of the kill from me. He kind of taps his chin with the harpoon. So I came down here to get it myself.
So you just wanted to die.
I've been alive a long time. I've seen a lot of things. Seen a lot of things on the sea. Never seen anything like this. Not in all my days. Heard stories. Things like it. Sea monsters out there. None of them have been true. If I was going to die today, I would have died seeing something I'd never seen before. I would have been face to face with a legend. That was enough for me. But in case I didn't die, coming down here, and I would have claimed my glory and killed this thing myself like I planned, I wasn't just going to leave it down here. You see, the captain, he reaches into his pocket. He pulls out this brown leather pouch, very tightly sealed, this waterproof pouch, and tosses it over to Enkai, who catches it, opens it up. You see Enkai's eyes widen. He's staring into the pouch. He scoops out something in his hands, this very chalky, white, like powdery substance.
Salt.
It is indeed Eversalt. The very, very powerful preservative, one of the ingredients Enkai had tasked you with gathering.
I was worried about that.
I was like, yeah, how is he gonna get it up there then? Like, how are we gonna get it out the cave, though?
How did you get this? My old ship is, now working for the family making Eversalt, toting this stuff around. I figured, taking a bit of their stock, well, it would help you out, of course. And it would get some of my old crewmates in trouble. Shows them for mutinizing, throwing me off my own ship, forcing me to retire. The bastards.
There's so much to unpack here.
I know, it's layers on layers. Who is this man?
Okay. Well.
And Kai, letting the salt fall back into the pouch. Well, this is certainly more than enough. This is more than what we need. It's just, looking at the huge body of the crustacean, it's just a matter of getting this thing out of here, right?
I mean, you tell me. I thought you had a plan for this.
Well, I had a plan. That plan was supposed to, come into motion a couple of days from now, on the day of the festival. But I guess
above ground or above water, not down here.
I mean,
so, let me get this straight, Captain. Say that you did come down here, and say that you did defeat the Leviathan. What was your next step?
My next step was to drench this thing in as much salt as I could, empty that whole damn pouch, and stick a harpoon in the thing, pull it by the rope, drag it in the water.
Excellent. Why don't we try that? We have a whole team of people here for you.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, we'll have to keep it somewhere for the next few days, obviously. We don't have anything to cook it in yet. We don't have the citrus either. It's not perfect, and we want to cook it on the festival, but yeah.
Let me check my schedule's open. I'll help.
This could still work.
I have a question about the logistics of putting salt on this thing and then putting it in water.
Agreed.
Is that not going to wash off the salt?
Will you wrap it or something?
What?
I don't know. I'm not a genius here.
Eversalt, it's
I have an idea. We set up the barbecues and things right down here and bring the city over to us. An underwater ensemble of awesome down here at the bubble at the bottom of the ocean. Lobster for all.
The captain kind of taps his harpoon on the ground. I like that idea.
Oh no.
I mean, it saves the trouble of moving this damn thing anyway.
We bring the whiskey and all the people down here. Just a little swim is all they have to do. It would be great. The only question I have is, this is the mother. Where's the father?
That's a decent question, actually.
That's a good question.
I'm not a pessimist.
Lobsters do not, in fact, just, individually make children.
I'm not
normally, no.
Not
Not normally.
Not normally. Who am I to know Leviathan, biology and the things they do?
Well, as I said earlier, there's not a second one. Not a third, not a fourth. There's not a family of these things. At least not at this size. The time that I've been down here, this was the one that I ran into. This is the only one. Of the shells that I've seen, the one that I have in my home. It all lines up. of this creature.
Yeah.
Strange as it might sound, I don't think there's a father.
It's interesting.
Fine. Fine.
Now, can we get to salting and can we get to tugging? I've been sober way too long and I'm starting to get a headache.
My God. This dude's liver is literally non-existent at this point.
Let me just stretch my 78-year-old bones.
I mean,
I'm so ready. Just a moment. Oh!
You hear like a crack from her back. It's like, it's fine.
Ready!
Her
I guess some
entire
of us
spine
like-
cracks in succkesuction.
ooh,
Yep.
each vertebrae just does its own pop.
Sounds like a typewriter.
Oh no.
Ow! Oh wow! Whoa!
That's vivid.
You finish cracking your back, you kind of like recoil, and then everyone just hears this very distinct ding!
Doing great again.
Alright, in any case, Enkai opens up the pouch and takes out a small handful of this Eversalt and begins sprinkling it across the corpse of Leviathan. And, no, this isn't going to wash off. Eversalt, it's special. I don't know how they make it, but, I mean, they have to keep it in, something that's, you know, that's kind of tight, that it's not going to get on anything else, because even a pinch of this stuff, when it gets onto something, it stays there. Preserves the whole thing.
So your hands are really preserved.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, you better wear gloves, dude.
Yeah.
So, let's get to it.
Some of us push,
Yeah.
some of us pull. I guess.
Sounds good. Yeah, we can
have to
salt
salt
it and
the thing
then.
down.
Yeah, you finish just salting it.
Drag.
Those of you who care to pay attention, you see that as the Eversalt spreads across the body of Leviathan, and you all begin this process of like harpooning and roping and finagling this creature, getting ready to pull it. That salt. Even though this creature is wet, and you would expect salt to go from this bright powdery white coloration to more of a clear as it dilutes and dissolves, it just sticks to the body. It stays that same pristine white, like freshly fallen snow, and
Like pretzel salt.
where it sticks, it does not move. Regardless of how you manipulate this creature, regardless of if you happen to brush up against a patch of salt, it does not disturb the substance at all.
Yeah, just like pretzel salt.
It is.
I looked over at the stream specifically to see if anybody reacted to that. And thank you for laughing.
All right, so the captain jams a harpoon into Leviathan, kind of wraps the rope around his arm, gets ready to pull. Is everyone going to contribute to moving this thing?
I'm ready to pull, but is there any way that there's a point or perhaps some piece of rock we could use leverage with a rope? Any smart way about it? I'm quite clever. Maybe there's some way.
14 pulleys.
Perhaps you could figure something out. This is a natural cave. There are, if you were to give a quick investigation, there are bound to be loose stones. There are clumps of seaweed. There are bits of sea. You don't have to do an investigation check for this. Like an actual roll. I'm just around you. There's rock. There's ocean life. There's seaweeds. There are a number of things across this cave. All of them organic.
This very tall formation here,
Yes.
and the Leviathan here. Perhaps we could tie a rope and then heave it around this rock at the smoothest points over here, giving us a little leverage as we pull it into the water. From there, I would like everyone's idea as to how we are to manipulate it.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. So for the purposes of this, it's going to be a group strength check, just flat strength. And I'm not going to be taking an average. You are all going to try and meet a threshold. I'm going to add all of your rolls together. If you have an idea to give yourselves a bit of extra leverage, a clever way of aiding yourself in this, that may grant you advantage on your specific roll, or it might lower the threshold slightly. But if you have those ideas, I need to hear what they are.
Yes. Could I use some type of rope that I have in my bag with some type of stone to create some type of lever system of sort, or you know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Pulley?
Yes.
All
To
right.
use that to assist with them pushing it with their strength.
I can see that happening. You have rope in your inventory.
I think I do.
Can you confirm that for me? You should. I believe everyone starts with rope, but just in case.
If it's an explorer's pack, then you're
Yeah.
good. If it's not.
Then...
No, I have like holy symbols and mirrors, so I must have a different one.
Oh, you have a priest pack?
I guess so.
Interesting.
Does somebody have a rope that I can
Yes.
use?
I think the rest of us have rope.
Mm-hmm.
Why, thank you for letting me borrow some rope.
All right. I will say, go ahead and give me either a flat intelligence check or a sleight of hand check. This is you rigging up a system with the rope and with what bits of stone you find around the cave to make a properly weighted system, and make sure that it's all nice and tight. So go ahead and give me that roll.
So we're taking the entire creature without perhaps lopping off pieces of it, worrying
Yes.
for predators. Just
I believe that's the plan.
Who has stone?
Oh, I forgot it didn't actually roll. I'm sorry, it was a 4.
Oh, it's a 4?
Yeah,
So-
nat 1 to a 4.
Oh,
Dang.
now 1 to a 4. Oh, unfortunate. So, Yami, you attempt to create this system, this counterweight system that will assist your fellas in lugging this thing around. You tie it. You tie one end of it to Leviathan. You wrap the rope around the pillar, and you give it a bit of a test pull, and the rope snaps in half. It rubs against the rough-hewn edge of the stone a bit too much. The stone just kind of saws through the rope and cuts it in half.
You just see her like do a tiny little stamp on the ground and just like mutter under her breath, "Fucking underwater, goddamn physics."
That's not underwater physics. That's not. Whatever.
All right, Yami. It was a very good attempt. Unfortunately, that's not going to aid your group in this. Does anybody else have any ideas?
I'm just worried if we put it in the water, it's going to be too much weight and it'll just sink to the bottom anyway.
I can potentially just continually cast shape water to barely try and like at least keep it off the bottom of. It's really big though.
Yeah. What is the specification on shape water? What kind of area can it affect?
5 foot.
5 foot cube. Well, this thing is a. Let's see.
big.
1, 2, 3, 4. It is in a 25-foot area.
Yeah, it's
That is
fine, right?
5 times the area of your shape water.
It's totally fine.
I will allow you an attempt at this. It is a very high DC. Go ahead
it's once we're in the water to like just barely keep like a jet going beneath it so it doesn't just fall to the bottom and drag. I realize this.
Go ahead and right now, at this moment in time, go ahead and give me a check with your spell modifier. This is you testing out your spell as you're figuring this out to test if this is even feasible with the level of magic that you're casting at.
Okay, so plus wisdom modifier. Just a d20.
Yep, just a d20. D20 plus your spell casting modifier.
All right.
God, and take the meat out.
Get out of here, Hydra! I'm trying to type crap. It popped up on the bottom of the bottom right where I'm typing. I'm like,
Don't bully Hydra.
Nope. It is in fact /r space d20
Yeah, there
plus
you go.
4. Not there's a yep. Oh my god! Don't roll a d100. Don't roll a 204, please.
You got this.
Well, I don't.
All right.
But...
Yeah, 9's not really going to cut it, I'm afraid. So, Mako, you do a bit of testing with your Shape Water cantrip, trying to lift different parts of this creature, see if you can't maintain a semblance of buoyancy. You quickly realize this level of magic just is not going to be able... You're not able to affect a area large enough to reasonably maneuver this creature.
Yeah.
Like... Maybe I thought it would, like, float in the water, you know?
Yeah, it's your Shape Water cantrip just isn't going to help with that. It's going to be a very negligible effect.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It's good thinking. Unfortunately, it's just not there.
I don't really have, like...
So let's lop off the claws.
Are there any planks of wood that are in the cave?
Through the whole body. It's too much.
I want to say no. I'm going to let you attempt this. Roll me a D100, Hina.
Too much. Too much
Okie
weight.
dokie.
Because I want to see where your head's at and what idea you have. An 83. I put the number 75 in my head.
Oh!
Alright. So, you do find bits of wood around here, scattered across the cave. They appear to be jagged pieces of driftwood, not necessarily from one source. They're different bits of wood, different textures. Some are jagged, some are smooth. It just looks like various bits of debris that might have gotten caught on Leviathan as she maneuvered in and out of the cave. There are... You can gather like an armful worth bundle of driftwood.
Okay.
No, like, really long pieces, though?
I'm not going to give that to you, unfortunately.
Okay. How big are the driftwoods?
Well, with that 83, I'll say that that the largest piece of driftwood is about the length and width of your forearm.
Oof.
Oh, that's a bit too short for what I was thinking.
Anybody got mending?
I know, right? Maybe. Okay.
If...
I'll let you think on that. Clarabelle, do you have anything interesting that you might like to do to help with the moving of this creature?
The only thing I can think of is... if we want the whole body, we need to push it in the water with some weight on it so it drops. Manipulate it, but have some buoyancy on it. Perhaps some wood or something that is light enough to lift it back up. So we bring the body down with rock or weight, try to keep the buoyancy as best we can, then cut the rock away, and the thing should float back to the surface. We need to find something that's big enough and buoyant enough to make it float, and also a counterweight enough to make it sink so we can try to push it along the floor. It's the only way that I think we can move such a large object in the ocean.
But we need to get it into the pool first, because it's all the way over here, and we came in, like, way over here.
That is true. I see what you're going for, Clarabelle. I like where your head's at. Go ahead and give me either a general intelligence check or... what can I qualify this as? This is interesting. Go ahead and give me either a general intelligence check or a survival check. This is going to, for how I'm qualifying this. This is going to be you gathering the right amount of stone, just in loose pieces of stone in this cavern, gathering them all up in a correct weight that you believe would serve as a perfect buoyancy weight to this creature when it's underwater to keep it from floating up when you don't want it to.
Right. We need to get it free of the rock first and then cut the... I mean, the environment rock, not the rock that we're tethering to it.
Right.
I shall try, and if not, maybe the claws and a bit of tail we can take to reduce the weight and leave the rest of this creature to the sea. Otherwise, yeah, 9's not going to
That's a 9 on your
Not
survival
really.
check. Clarabelle, you begin gathering up armfuls of stone, just any of the loose bits of rock in the cavern that you can find. You gather shells. You gather you find like calcified sea life, like anemones and just like bundles of sea life that have begun to turn to stone for some strange reason. It's weird, but you gather these objects up, and you're enthusiastic about it. So much so that after a few minutes of this, you look down at the pile that you've already gathered. Someone's enjoying the League World Series.
Something great happened.
Something outstanding just went down.
In any case, you look down at this pile that you've gathered and realize you've lost track. You've completely lost track of the total density of the pile that you've gathered, and you don't know where to begin to getting it to the right amount of weight that you need, and you just kind of give up on the whole project.
Fine, well.
But you do have a collection of shells and calcified ocean life, if you care to keep any of that.
I do.
Can I suggest
Especially the interesting calcified creatures.
All right, Hina, do you have a complete plan that you'd like to enact?
Yami just asked if they could say something.
Oh, sorry, what was that, Yami?
I was gonna ask, would it help lower the DC if we do an investigatory test push, just to see like what we're working with?
I'm going to just make the broad assumption that in your individual experiments with figuring out different ways that you could help yourselves, it has allowed you to kind of gauge the weight and density of this creature. Just like as a general umbrella, you all collectively have a good idea of how this thing is going to be in the water, what kind of strength it's going to take. So making a check for that isn't going to do anything to the DC when we get there.
Gotcha. Sorry, I tried.
Yeah.
Well, no soup for you. Let's get ready to get ourselves up there, I guess. I mean, that's the best we can do.
All right, so Hina, do you have an idea you would like to enact?
I do. I want to preface this by saying it's a bad idea.
No idea is a bad idea. Let's hear it.
Let's go!
Are you familiar with rope bunnies?
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Continue.
Okay.
I don't want to answer this question because of
Yeah,
how
I
it
was
will make me
hesitant
look.
to answer it, but go ahead.
I'm gonna make one of those harness and put it on the thing. With the broken rope from Yami.
I don't know that that's gonna be any more secure than just a really good, like...
Okay, so...
around the joints.
And I'm gonna use some of the wood as,
Hold on just a moment. Hold on just a moment for me. For the purposes of having enough rope, the rope that Yami used, who did that come from? Whose inventory? That came from your rope, Mako? Does anybody else have any rope? Like, for sure in your inventory, does anybody else have rope?
Certainly do.
Yeah, okay, you certainly do? Okay, well that's at least one more cord of rope. The rope that Yami used broke in half, so it is 2 lengths of 25-foot rope, roughly.
Yeah, we can tie those together.
I will say you will need to use both those 2 broken bits and at least one more bundle that can come from either your inventory or from Clarabelle's inventory. But it is possible. Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check.
Let's do it, bunnies. Rope bunnies.
Does
Oh my! Of course. It's a nat 20.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
I
your face, boo.
Hang on.
Like, are you serious?
Hang on a moment. I wanna. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this show up. Okay, no, I can't make it show up.
That's so funny.
A 20 and a 19.
Yeah, it's a 20 on the. It's a 20 and a 19 on the roll 20, because it previews what the advantage roll would be even when we're not using advantage. So I gotta give it to you. I gotta give it to you.
Yeah.
Hina, despite your initial hesitations about the efficacy of this plan, you realize that a couple of moments ago you saw God. Nothing makes sense right now. Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And you begin making a rope bunny ensemble for this giant mutated lobster.
Creative, if nothing else.
Using the bits of rope provided to you from your party, and using the bits of driftwood that you have gathered to create different anchor points for this rope to remain fixed on some of the parts of the body that are strangely formed, that are a bit more amorphous, or that are too brittle. Basically, using these pieces of driftwood as reinforcement.
Brilliant.
Everyone else can only stand in awe and perhaps a bit of concern into how Hina can do this so efficiently with a distinctly non-human creature. It is a sight to behold.
How are you getting underneath it? Never mind.
Hang on.
I'm that good. Just that good.
Brilliant.
As yes, you Hina have shibari'd this creature. I had to look up the term.
Shibari.
But that is what you did.
Okay.
You did it.
Accurate for probably the region and also the act.
Yeah.
So my intention would be that for the part where it's kind of like on the ground, I want to, well, not on the ground. I want to make like the driftwood, like have it on its back so that we could like flip it and drag it, and it's kind of like a smooth surface, so it's a little easier for us to pull. And then tagging on to Clarabelle's idea, since I have these pieces of rope, we could tie like rocks around the rope. Yeah, and then that'll weight it, right? That sounds like a thing.
I'll give that to you with your natural 20. So you succeeded on this check, and since this helps out with just the general mobility of moving this creature, and it's not like one person is managing this, this is not going to give anyone advantage on their roll, but it is going to lower the threshold needed to move this creature. I'm not going to tell you by how much, but it is lowered.
Okay.
It's literally brilliant.
Oh my god.
Hina just stands up and is like, "It's done, guys."
Well, Enkai's idea involves utilizing the shovel that he was given by Clarabelle, and as everyone is working out their own plans, he is going to make an athletics check to, using the shovel, kind of smooth out, flatten the surface between Leviathan and the nearest pool of water, and just try and make a path that is easier to drag. So he's going to make an athletics check for his shovel work. He fails. He He rolls a 3. He does have a modifier to his athletics, but it does not bring him above a 10. So he tries. He does clear a bit of a path, but it's not going to help any more than it would. The captain. What do I want the captain to do?
You're just going to hand Hina more rope.
Well, my initial thought is that a man of the sea would utilize his knowledge of knotwork to try and rig something up, but Hina's already taken care of that.
It looks fantastic.
It looks
neon
amazing.
Pink for some reason.
It looks incredible. So
the fact that I'm really tempted as an artist to create something for this is scary.
You can charge a lot on Patreon for stuff like that.
Oh my god.
You should totally do it.
I think
Hit up Tiger Beans if you want a rope bunny lobster.
Yeah, next stream, everybody. No.
commission's open. All right. Well, the captain, he's got a harpoon. He's got a working knowledge of what these creatures are like. So the captain is going to try and make a nature check or a survival. He's going to make a check to attempt to lop off parts of this creature that would effectively be dead weight and would not be any use in a kitchen setting, which is what Enkai wants to preserve the body for. The captain rolls a natural 14. He rolls quite well. He is going to, with that roll, I'm going to say he's going to give himself advantage on his strength check, just on the way that he's found the proper anchor point to jam his harpoon in, and kind of carve out some of those useless bits and just make for himself a good area of leverage. So he is going to do better in his strength check. With that, everyone has presented an idea. I'm only allowing one idea per person. So even if you failed your plan,
okay,
that's it.
It was a in the water versus right now plan.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, Mako. I'm only allowing one plan per person.
Okay, I just think there's a distinction.
I'll hear it out. What have you got for me?
Well, admittedly, it might not even be valid anyway. But if I'm gonna link the spell Catapult for you.
Okay.
If I can tie something or attach or like something to it, and then catapult the object, and maybe it will drag the lobster. It says not being worn or carried, but I don't know what falls into that definition. If something's tied to something, is that worn or carried?
I'm going to say no, because it would be tied to the body of Leviathan, and bodies in D&D are considered objects. They are not creatures, and objects cannot wear or carry anything.
Okay.
So, regardless, the catapult can only affect a object that is up to 5 pounds.
Yeah, I was trying to think like so it goes fast enough to do 3d6, bludgeoning damage. I'm like, how much force, engineer brain activates, how much force is it moving with at that point if it's only this much weight, but it's going this fast?
That would be the equivalent
Probably
of
not
like
much.
an MLB fastball pitch, I would say. It's gonna get your attention. It might even kill you if it hits you right. But for a creature like this, I just don't think it's going to move it. And I do
actually, after talking it through, kind of agree that it would bump the top of it, and then it would be like,
because it is a quick burst of momentum. It is not sustained, and it is not a lot of momentum that would affect a creature of this size. So good thought. Yeah. I'm gonna say save your spell slot. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to at least talk through it, because I'm like, would it work?
All right. Well, with that, everyone's plans have been enacted. Now is the time. I need everybody to roll me a strength check. Flat strength.
Yuri too? Or no?
Oh, is Yuri helping? Yeah.
I mean, I'm asking.
Yuri can help if he wants. I'm going to give Yuri disadvantage because he is a tiny creature, though.
Okay, that's fair.
Is a powerhouse.
Plus 1 to strength.
A 16 for the old lady, a 5 for Mako, an 18 for Hina, so we are up to, let's see, that's
and
21,
an 8 for Yuri.
39 plus 8, that's 47. Yami, have you rolled?
I'm trying to use my item, but it won't, I can't click the title to link it.
That's okay. Well, what item is this?
The Clockwork Amulet. I can forego a roll once a day and to get a 10 on the die.
On the roll, all right. And what's your strength modifier?
-1.
Okay, so your total would be a 9. So 47 plus 9, that's 56. That's pretty good. All right. Enkai is rolling. He has a +1 to this. He rolls a total of 10. The captain is rolling. He also has a +1. He also has advantage. He rolls a non-natural 20.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
All right. So what did I say that was? 56 plus 10, that's 66, plus 20, that is 86.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's definitely going to do it. That is going to meet... You had a lot of very good rolls, and with a lowered threshold, thanks for the rope bunny outfit constructed by Hina, that brought the DC down to about 60. So,
Nice.
yeah, with that, all of you gather around this thing, ready yourselves, grabbing onto ropes, holding onto limbs, ready to push this thing in the water. Yuri kind of gets to the back, onto the tail, and, like, starts pushing on the tail, his back legs kind of, like, scraping against the stone as he's not getting quite enough leverage. There is this moment where none of you are able to move this thing quite, and then there is just this give of friction as all of you push this thing into the water. It slides right into the tide pool, slowly beginning to sink. It is... it's got buoyancy. It still sinks a little bit because of the rocks that have been tied to it. But I'm assuming those of you that go into the water right away see that it is just barely floating enough to where the water is carrying a good deal of the weight, and you are confident. You are confident that you can move the body of Leviathan easily through the water.
The bunny belt. Perfect plan.
The bunny belt.
Just like we drafted it up.
All right, guys. Well, take a moment to congratulate yourselves on plans well made. Now you just got to get this thing out of here.
Yeah, and it kind of got real twisty on the way in, so...
It did. It very much did. You guys dive back down into the waters of this cave. It is a labyrinth of stone that twists and turns every which way around. So, somebody... because there is a good deal of water that is carrying the weight of this thing, not all of you need to hold on to it and maneuver it to make it move efficiently. You all have a swimming speed. Even though those that are not of aqueous nature have imbibed a diver's pearl, giving them a swimming speed temporarily. So anyone who wants to can break from the group, scout ahead, and make me a survival check to lead the group. Who wants to do that?
Oh boy.
And I will say up to 2 people can do this. Can break from the group and scout.
Certainly be liking to get out of the water as quick as possible.
All right.
I think I would volunteer. I'm pretty good at survival and, comfortable in the water and everything. So I think if anybody else, has an issue with that, but...
All right, so I'm hearing Mako and Clarabelle.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Would you guys like to make separate survival checks? Both of you have proficiency in survival, right?
Yeah.
All right, so both of you can make separate checks, or one of you can roll with advantage.
Oh, does anybody need to see? Because I can cast dancing lights if you need light.
That's a great point, actually. I do not have dark vision.
Okay, then I cast dancing lights and I send one of the lights with them as they go scouting.
Yeah. Dancing lights helps.
Well, 1 light each, so 2 lights.
Bunny and lights. Excellent.
Yeah. Separate or advantage? I think Clarabelle, you rolled already.
Clarabelle has rolled an 11, or can keep that 12 if
or
you,
a 12.
Or if you don't want to roll, Mako, it's up to you.
I might want to try and get higher than an 11.
All right, go ahead and roll for me.
Technically
higher. All right, technically higher. Technically higher. A 13 is still a weird number. I'm gonna roll against you.
Okay. Are we lost in the caves forever?
I think this is the first instance where I've rolled against a player and have tied with them, because I also rolled a 13.
Rolly!
I can't remember.
Mako, roll again.
Which one? Okay. All right, let's go. 14. It's going up.
Yeah, you beat my 6.
Yeah!
Okay. So, Clarabelle and Mako,
Alright.
separating
Oh my
themselves from the group, scout out ahead, weaving through the complex tunnels of Leviathan's den. It's definitely... You get to a point where you're not certain if this was the way that you entered or not, or if you've entered an entirely different complex altogether. By the way, one person... And you can decide among yourselves who would like to do this. One person roll me a D100.
Oh boy.
Just one person.
Who's the lucky one?
I don't know.
Oh, Dr. Me. See.
I don't know who the lucky one is. If this was a different campaign, I would immediately say Yami, but...
Boy.
I don't think I've rolled many D100s, so
Do
I
it.
can...
You believe that you'll get the greatest
the button.
number on
I think I'll get a 100, guys.
that's
It's got a 1 in it.
Oh.
Well, it's a
got a
13.
1 in it.
It's got a 1 in it.
Alright.
It's
Really?
like if you squint real hard. If you turn the 13 on its side and then like double it, right? It has the shapes.
It's
I'll
pretty.
Okay.
It's a good number.
What's everybody's passive perception, real quick?
Passive.
16.
12 for Hina and 12 for Yuri. Really? That seems wild.
One for Yummy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
seems
So
weird.
16 is the highest so far?
15 is what Claire has.
Okay, so 16 is the highest I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Seems like-
Makes sense. You know what, Mako, you're the one who's scouting out, so you're going to be the one who notices this. So as you and Clarabelle are weaving through the tunnels, not entirely sure if you're going the way that you came or not, just trying to find the way out, you do notice bits of strange things just scattered through the cavern floor. This wasn't something that you were looking for going in, because obviously you were trying to find the captain, but now that you're taking another look through, you do find little bits of things. Little bits of wood, little bits of metal, some little trinkets, some things that have just been carried into here by the comings and goings of Leviathan. It is a cave with a couple of treasures. Most of them are junk. Most of them are just garbage. There's one thing that you notice, and it's a bit more pristine than you would think something under the water has any right to be. It's a little wooden box. It's like
Oh boy.
it's
weird.
just a couple of inches in a square area. It's a small box. It could fit in the palm of your hand or at the palm of your flipper.
Okay. Oh, I gotta willingly pick it up, huh? Oh god.
It's up to you.
What shall you
And so it looks more pristine than it should.
Yeah, as you're looking at it, you see that there's this tiny little wooden box, and it doesn't seem to have any kind of weathering to it. You would expect something like this to be like slightly rotting or waterlogged. It's not.
Right. Well, maybe it's new. Can I tell if it's like new?
Make me a perception, or actually no, make me a nature check. Just make me a nature check. Yeah.
Okay.
Just for a 7.
God dang.
You're not sure. It's looking pretty fresh. You can only assume that this thing was brought in here recently. It hasn't spent a lot of time in the water. That's what you gather.
Okay. Can I? I'm using shape water like underwater mage hand. Can I use shape water to lift it off of the ground and like kind of just like have it maybe accidentally flip over, so I can like look at it on the bottom and see if it has any weird symbols or. Yeah,
you using your magic very easily manipulate the box. There is a bit of a scattering of silt on the cavern floors. The box floats up, slowly begins sinking, rotating down back to the ground, and as you're looking at it, you see. It's just a box, but it does have a bit of carving into the top of it. It is a box with a hinged lid, and on the top of the lid, you see etched into it what looks to be the image of It is a circular symbol, and it looks like a cresting wave that is circled by a serpent.
Circled by a serpent. Well, that sounds like a religion thingy. Do I recognize the symbol?
Sounds
like it might be a Harikoyo thing.
Make me a history check with advantage. Not religion, history.
History, okay. With advantage. Let me toggle that.
What advantage?
God dang.
13.
Ever so slightly higher than like a 12.
13's not it's not a hard DC. No. You've seen this symbol very recently. This is the symbol of the Green Sea Trade.
Oh, right! Yeah, we did see that. Okay. So okay. I'm not sure if that helps make it more approachable, or if I am now even more wary.
I will say, you do notice the lid does not open even as the box is manipulated. Right. It stays
Does it have a latch?
Closed. It does not have a latch.
Oh, that's kind of weird. I will tell you what. I will, wait until everyone else is in sight first, and then I will very tentatively reach down and pick it up just in case it's, magical and I'm about to get cursed, you know?
Alright, yeah.
But just to make sure I have some backup.
Everyone rounds the corner of the tunnel, the corpse of Leviathan in tow. You scoop up the little box.
Yep.
You have it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have it.
I have it.
You've got it!
I don't know that I'm gonna open it right now. I don't know.
Right now, underwater?
In any case,
that's true, because whatever's inside by water damage and everything. So actually, yeah, I'll wait till we're above water.
In any case, getting to the crux of your survival check, it takes you a few minutes, but eventually you do emerge into the to the outside of Leviathan's den. You find yourselves spit right back out where you came in.
Nice.
Yeah, you are now in the open water. The reefs around you flanking on the other side. The schools of fish. There is a solitary eel that pokes its head out from a rock just a little bit below you and to the right, and regards you for a moment before retreating back into its den. The corpse of Leviathan ominously is dragged out of the den, just kind of slowly floating, barely moving, just bits of its body, not twitching, but moved by just the push and pull of the water as you guys bring the corpse outside. You're outside the den.
Well,
what's the next move?
Go towards the boat, right? The boat's still there, right?
Well, you look up.
The captain's is.
Yeah, the captain's
You do distinctively see the shadow of a ship's hull above you. Not just the captain's little boat, but the larger fishing vessel is still up there.
They stayed!
They stayed? It's been hours and a long time.
It's been a little while. It's been about an hour.
Yeah. It's been an hour. They said they'd give us 10 minutes.
I'll say it's been closer to 2 hours with the time that it took to rig up everything that you needed to move Leviathan. It's been a little while. It's still early afternoon at this point. You can tell by the light dancing on the water surface.
There we go.
Oh my!
All right. So you guys go. You guys surface.
Yeah, as long as the Leviathan corpse will float up there with us, easy.
All right.
We can cut the rocks if that'll help it.
Well, that's true. That would help a lot.
Yep. Just wanted to confirm. You guys loose the rocks. They fall to the sea floor, and almost in an instant, the body of Leviathan just is quickly floats up past you. The rest of you very slowly, carefully make your way up to the surface, careful not to give yourselves the bends as you breach up to the surface. We go ahead and change the music back because we don't need to be in Ominous Town anymore. We've spent enough time in Ominous Town.
We need to go to Celebration Town.
Let me get back to the general anime-inspired playlist. Thank you, Brandon Fietcher, for hang on. Thank you, Brandon Fietcher, for giving us permission to use your music in our stream. We're very grateful.
And Derek.
And Derek. I emailed Brandon directly. He's the one that got to me. So thank you
nice.
Specifically Brandon, and also thank you Derek Fietcher. Your guys' music is amazing. I love using it for my D&D games, and we're glad to have it on stream. Okay, here we go. All of you emerge to the surface of the water to see a absolute frenzy on the fishing boat.
Yeah, they think it's going to kill them.
Yeah, fishermen have begun just hucking harpoons into this thing, and
it's dead.
As you surface, you're catching the tail end of this interaction as the captain, what's her name again? Captain Coda June, the Lokatha fisherman, is giving the order, cease, it's already dead! And her fishermen all come to a stop. They see your heads emerge one by one. All of them are looking at you strangely, Coda June. Whew. You all right?
Captain Boat Lady.
All alive.
Good to see.
We found the guy, and we found this thing.
Good to see. What is that thing?
I think it's supposed to be lunch.
That's all I need to hear. Need any help rigging it to the boat?
I don't know.
The fishermen help you all rig the corpse of Leviathan to Coda June's boat. They don't bother asking many more questions. They recognize it enough as a lobster, despite what it actually is, to just kind of go through the process. They obviously can't get it up onto the ship, but they tie it to the back of the boat. They get it fixed to where it's not going to drift away, and you guys have your pick. You can remain on Coda June's boat. The captain is in his little fishing boat, and he's going to sail back to the docks on his own. And Kai is going to also be in that little fishing boat. So it's up to you.
I'll get my bag from the captain's boat, and I'll go on Coda June's boat. She seems to know what's going on.
Sounds good. Yeah, you clamber onto Coda June's boat, and they're happy to have you. Everybody else? What boat you taking?
I'll go with Coda June.
Okay.
I'll go with the captain.
Okay, you're going with the captain. Yummy. Captain or Coda June?
Captain, I guess.
Alright, so we've got an even split of the group members in different boats. This is going to be quick roleplay interactions, but I'm going to take them one at a time. So, those of you on Coda June's fishing vessel, very soon after Leviathan is hitched to the hull, Coda June gives the order for the ship to round the bay and make its path back towards the docks of Myota. After the initial motion of getting the sails in place, getting the boat on course, dragging up the anchor, as the boat begins to slowly drift towards the docks, Coda June looks to you, Mako. So that looks over her shoulder at Leviathan. Quite a haul you got there.
Yes. We were planning to go out and get that thing. Not today, but the captain kind of forced our hand, but now we're here.
Well, you've been.
I think he called it the Leviathan.
You've been holding out on me then. Something like this? You wouldn't bother telling me a story like that? If a sea beast like that, I would have helped you. Nah, you just wanted to keep that story to yourself, huh? I get it.
I didn't know you'd want to know. I'll tell you anything in the future. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just thinking that something like this, it's gonna garner you a hell of a reputation among the fishermen's circle. Didn't take you for someone who would go out and catch a beast like that.
Well, I mean, we were saving the captain. We didn't really mean to fight it right now. We were thinking we'd be maybe on like a boat and in like a cave where we could get picked up by its claws or grabbed or
Kind of gives you this look. It's a mix of concern and intrigue. Well, it sounds like you've had a hell of a time down there. I want to hear that story too, by the way. But later. Back at the brine hole.
Okay.
It'll. I'm sure everyone will want to hear that.
Oh, and like she starts to like agree and be like, yeah, of course I'll tell everybody. And then she thinks about the thought of I'll tell everybody, and then she's like, oh God, they'll all be listening to this story that I am telling. Like
she slaps her flipper against your back. Well, prepare to be called Mako the Beast Slayer, I guess, going forward. Fishermen are going to be talking about this one for years. Not every day we haul in a sea beast like that. She goes back to maneuvering the boat. It's approaching the docks. Hina, you're also on Kota June's boat. Just if there's anything you want to do among the crew or the captain.
No, but I think Hina would hear Mako being like very modest, and he would be like, Mako was so brave. She went in the cave first, and then when the lobster thing dove under the pool into the water, dragging Clarabelle, Mako dove in right after her first. And she chased them down, and then she wrestled the beast by herself.
That's not
okay, like by herself. She had one claw by herself. She just like took the whole thing down. It was amazing, and she saved Clarabelle. She like sacrificed herself.
Everyone is intently listening. All of the fishermen on the boat, they're like looking between Hina and Mako. There's looks of awe on their face.
There was some heavy embellishment in that story. Considering the fact that Mako was unconscious at the end of the battle.
Hina starts improvising a ballad about Mako's heroics on the boat.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, while you're working on that ballad, Hina, over on the little fishing boat, the captain and Enkai make short work of getting the little anchor unhitched from the reef, bringing it back up into the boat, unfurling the sail, and getting the little vessel to follow the larger fishing boat of Kota June. After they get this process finished, and Enkai has kind of taken the head of maneuvering the ship at the captain's behest. He's doing his best. He's not a sailor by trade, but he's doing his best. The captain sits down in the bench on the boat. He leans over. He kind of wraps his knuckles on the underside of this bench. There is a little like trick door or like a storage compartment that's in the bench that falls open. He reaches inside. He pulls out a clay gourd, uncorks it, and downs what you can gather is about a half gallon of you can only imagine what it is.
Oh gosh. That's
breathes
a lot.
Out this deep, long sigh of relief, the smile curving his lips. That's better. That's much better.
God.
That's delightful.
Dude, has an issue.
How are you holding up, Captain?
Just fine. I'm alive, aren't I? Wasn't sure I would be. The thing almost... it almost got me, but I made of sterner stuff.
Right. Good on you. Ha.
He takes a moment. Kind of, you can see the gears turning in his head. He reaches out, handing the clay gourd over in your direction, Clarabelle.
Sir, I shall take you up on that drink.
Yeah, you take the gourd.
I should get the gold and take my tin cup. For a respectful amount, of course.
You pour in. It is this mostly clear, slightly green tinted fluid. As it meets open air, there is just a blast. There is a pungent stench that burns your nostrils. This is some tried and true sailor swill. You can already tell.
Is this the same stuff that I got?
Might as well be, but you're not there. You're not there to confirm.
That's true.
There you go, Captain. Thank you. Grow some hair on your chest for this. I'll take a respectable sip.
Yeah.
How does it taste?
You take the respectable sip. It burns. It burns immediately on your tongue. It is like being stabbed by 100 tiny needles on the edge of your tongue, and that same sensation follows down your throat as you swallow. Just go ahead and make me a quick Constitution check.
Certainly,
just a quick one, just a little one.
Just a little, not a big one, just a quick one.
Yeah.
Just a slight quick one.
All right, 13. You fight the urge to cough. You manage to hold on to it for a couple of seconds before you let out a few small coughs, generally managing to stomach the drink. But as you do cough, that same burning sensation comes right back up, assaulting the roof of your mouth. You swear you can almost see a green cloud emerge as you cough. But as it all disperses, as that fire and those needles disperse, it leaves this neither good nor bad, just this interesting aftertaste that reminds you that you just drank something very strong. You can't quite pin down a flavor. It kind of goes between citrusy and just like peppery. It lingers.
Captain, you have an excellent choice in liquor.
Only the best.
Right.
Holds the clay gourd out to you as well, Yami.
Thanks, but I indulged a bit too much the other night. I think I'm good for a while.
Well, regardless, looking at the two of you, you see him kind of shrink back a little bit. He looks not at you, but just at the horizon. I guess the two of you and the rest of your fellows are also made of sterner stuff. Sterner than I gave you credit for. I don't think I would be here if you didn't bother coming to look for me. And I know that was your doing, Enkai. I know you dragged them down there. And I would have been fine dying down there. In the mouth of a legend. But you all have other plans for me, I guess. I'm grateful. And we are taking with ourselves a hell of a haul, aren't we? Okay.
Yes, we are.
That we are.
This is a powerful drink, Captain.
That we are. Well, whatever's going to happen the next few days, I'm not certain if we can gather everything at this point, but, well, we're certainly a lot closer than we were. On a faster pace than I anticipated, but if I can manage, maybe the festival will go just alright. You can see Enkai thinking just of the future, of all these plans that are drifting by in his eyes. He's nodding to himself, putting together the pieces of his shattered life as they lay before him. I think I can make it work. I'm gonna make it work. And both boats pull into the docks of Miyota. After a good 30 minutes or so, following the current, the town appears first as a small dot on the horizon, growing as you approach the docks, instantly drawing the attention of a number of dock workers, sailors, people on other boats that you pass as the fishing vessel of Kota June is hauling this massive shape in the water. There are just collective stares at the scene. The boat's getting into port. A number of dock workers, they're hesitant to approach. Some of them are a bit more eager, but as the fishing boat of Kota June does dock and is moored, and especially after Kota June calls out to the crowd that is gathered in the docks, "Well, are you just gonna stand there looking, or are you gonna help us bring this up? Come on now." And with that, a number of able bodies gather rope and pulleys and drag this corpse out of the water, this giant crustacean, drawing much attention, but it is hauled out of the water. It is put... At first, they don't really know what to do with it, but they do manage to get it on the largest cart that they can bring here. It is not big enough... It is not big enough to contain the entire carcass of Leviathan, but it does manage to put it on manageable wheels, at least. And it helps that the whole thing is bound in rope. A lot of its appendages cinched close to the core of its being. Not a lot that's hanging off the side of the cart. It is at least manageable. And after the chaos kind of dies out, sailors are still on looking, but they have other jobs that they need to accomplish. So after the order has been given, the lobster is out of the surf and in a cart. They disperse. A quartermaster is talking with Kota June and with the captain and with Enkai and with any of you that choose to be around, choose to linger. And there's a brief discussion with the current quartermaster with Kota June and the captain. And Kota June's the one to head it. It came on her boat. Her boat was the one to haul it. And she says, "Well, certainly one good haul, but can't quite take credit for catching it. We're just the ones that brought it in. In fact, it's points to the group. Any of you that want to be there are there. It's these brave souls that ventured down and did the catching." The quartermaster, "Well, if that's right, could I get a name, please? I need to associate a name or title or something to this catch. I need to write something down at least."
Oh, the name of the catch? I mean, shouldn't the captain be doing that? Like, out of character.
If you want to delegate this duty to the captain, you may do so.
And the captain deserves it.
Yeah! Hina has, like, a whole song prepared about how the captain went into, the cave to face the beast, and then our group came to back him up.
And then we found him basically dead, and then, I mean, what?
Okay.
I mean, like, she'll stand on a box and she'll just start playing and, like, saying this whole story. Yeah, she'll just go for it.
Okay, well, if that's the case, as you all collectively look towards the captain, he nods a bit, not necessarily in gratitude, but more of like, yeah, that was the right choice.
The right
it was caught by the seasoned veteran Captain Akihiko Saito. Don't you forget that. Quartermaster. Right then, Captain Saito. Well, we've taken a tally of the weight of your haul. I can only mark it as... I'm just going to mark it as generally crustacean. I wish you luck in the marketplace with your haul. I won't be needing luck. Kind of claps Enkai on the shoulder. I have one hell of a chef. And with that...
And
Well...
Just saying, we're the crew. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Well, noted. Well, with that, Leviathan is under your possession, technically owned by the captain himself, but, well, the captain can't do it on his own, so it is under your possession. What's the plan? What is the plan for all of you going forward?
Who has the rock?
Who did hold on to the red
Yeah, who does have
blood
that?
rock?
I thought that's probably
Who had it last?
Mako, perhaps.
Was I handed it?
I think Yami had it.
I believe
Looking at it,
Yami
I
was the
did
last
not.
person to have it.
Yami was the last person to have it.
Will keep
Yeah.
it
What?
in good
Yeah,
hands.
because I
Yeah.
think it was handed to me, but then it was just
I
like
mean,
passed
Hina would
along, like, I
volunteer
don't
to
know what
keep
this
it.
is, and then just handed to you as like, hey, wizard.
That is an important point that we did not establish. Yami, you were the last person to handle it. You rolled a 24 religion check to try and inspect this thing.
Oh yeah.
So you can either be the one holding on to this, or you could have given that to somebody. It's your choice.
It's your choice.
Probably not something I want.
That's fair.
All right, who do you want to give it to?
It's a good choice.
Mako seems responsible.
I mean, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so it's in Maka's possession?
I believe so. Yeah, that is
right.
It seems like the smart choice.
All right.
All right, let me add that to my inventory.
Yeah, just go ahead and
Red.
add Crimson Shard into your inventory.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Crimson Shard.
So, for this, Enkai and the captain, they make this known. They're planning on heading back to the seat at the end of the river. That's Enkai's restaurant. They're bringing this back there just as they figure out what to do with it. Enkai speaks up. Well, you're all welcome to come along. You've definitely earned a meal at least.
That's true.
Day is it?
What day? What time?
It's the same day, and it's
No, like what time?
Oh, we went at like dawn, didn't we?
you went
Or it
you
was
went-
like early.
You went later than dawn because you did some investigation like in the captain's house, and then you went back to the
Right.
docks. So it is, I would say, mid-afternoon verging on evening, and because it's late winter, it's just starting to get dim, not dark. The sun is
Gotcha.
the sun is considering setting.
I would
like that
like
phrasing.
I would like to mention just one caution from an old lady.
Uh-huh.
Before we go giving this soup to the entire town, perhaps with rancid meat from something that was cursed by a stone we don't recognize, we might want to sample it first before we just give it to everyone. It would be good in my heart that I personally will take the first sip if people are afraid. But I think we should take at least a sample of this at least the night before, so that we don't poison an entire town with craziness in case the meat is bad. What do you think? Good.
Honestly, might be a good idea.
I mean, if you're sure you want to try it first.
Well, age before beauty.
I mean, fair. I mean, maybe we can get like a pig. Just because I'm saying, look.
I think
Like-
it's. I
But what if
agree.
you turn into a monster, right? And then
I
we
don't
have to
want.
like hurt you. I'm saying it's easier to like shoot a pig, right? Like arrow,
Agree.
poop, pig, gone.
But you get the point. Thank you. But you get the point. I just don't want to give this soup or whatever to a whole bunch of people in case the meat itself does something nasty to their mind.
They'll see God. How is that bad?
You see, the thing about seeing God is usually it's through death, and that is generally bad.
Let's throw a lobster first.
Point well taken. Why am I worried? Thank you. But I do like the idea of perhaps giving an animal a taste of this soup before we continue to give it to the masses at the festival.
All right. Well, I can certainly do the cooking. I don't really have an animal a live animal. Well, no, that's not true. There are still some live crabs back at the restaurant that we could try and test that out on. Crabs, they'll eat just about anything.
And they're already crazy, so it works out.
What?
The crabs are crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let's try it out and just see.
All right. I'm gonna head back to the restaurant with the captain. Any of you, you're welcome to come along. I'll make you a meal when we get there, and we'll set to work on this little test. It's good thinking. I'm definitely hoping we can use this thing, but if it turns out to be rancid, well, maybe we can still find some use for it.
I'm sure we can, but let's get some food in us, and perhaps some dry clothes.
Yeah. I think Hina would want to go change first out of the wet sea clothes.
Full of blood and gore.
Yeah, we're covered in like blood and random fish guts.
No, we swam in the ocean. It's fine.
Most of that has been washed off. I will say there are lingering stains on some of you, especially on Clarabelle and Mako. There are lingering stains.
Mako, the ocean is fish pee. Okay, you just swam in fish pee.
Well, no, sorry. I was about to respond with something that Mako would not have, but I was about to say, well, so did you.
I'm just saying that's why you would change your clothes.
We can certainly change clothes and get reset. Have a meal and think of what we're going to do next. As I do like so far our ventures together. Although we don't have a sea monster now to attack and conquer. I think we fared well against it, and I'd like to maybe see if there are other things around town we can help with.
Well, I mean, we still don't have the limes. They are limes, right?
Yeah, there are limes.
Yeah.
Or the big pot.
We do need that pot.
That's true. Well,
Oh, he did give us a price estimate for that. Do you want to hear it or no?
Oh, you'll probably cry.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
In my mind, I know I should hear it, but in my heart, I really don't want to.
Okay, well then, delusion is bliss. Go for it.
I'll ask about it later.
Okay.
Right now, all I want to do is get back and get myself in the kitchen and exist in a moment of sanity in something that I know I have a handle on. So, I'm going back to the restaurant. I'll cook something up. If you guys come with me, that's up to you.
I'll go.
I think Mako will go.
Okay.
I'll swing by later.
All right. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. So, those of you that are accompanying Enkai and the captain back to the seat at the end of the river, you are not alone in following the pair, as a crowd quickly begins to gather on the streets of Miyota, seeing this large lobster being toted around in a cart. It definitely draws eyes. It draws eyes of other fishermen, just normal townsfolk, guards, the citizenship of Miyota. And there is a general surprise, not just at what is being carried, but who is carrying it. Eyes that fall upon Enkai and the captain, people that they're known in the city somewhat, but don't necessarily have a great reputation, a great standing as of late. There is surprise in the crowd's eyes, and a couple of them approach Enkai and the captain and begin asking questions like, "Oh, well, is this something you're gonna cook up?" And I'd like to taste that. Like, just a general kind of morbid curiosity at seeing this strange new seafood being toted through the town. And at first, Enkai is like, "Well, we're That's the plan. That's for the festival, and at first he's a bit wishy-washy about it, but the more people that approach him and ask about this and approach with this enthusiasm, you see Enkai kind of walking with a bit more confidence. You see him begin to smile, and he begins to answer questions a bit more emphatically, like, well, this specific lobster, we're not cooking this until a few days' time, but you're all welcome to come with us to the restaurant and have a lunch there. You can hear the tale, and the crowd of people walking to the seat at the end of the river is not just you. It's not just you and Enkai and Captain, but about 2 or 3 dozen. Definitely more than would reasonably fit in the maximum occupancy of Enkai's restaurant are all excitedly hurrying along in this crowd, talking and gossiping amongst themselves and kind of speaking out loud about like what they want to order, and pretty soon the crowd makes it to the seat at the end of the river, this quaint restaurant that a lot of you have gathered at a few times prior. Enkai quickly, as soon as he gets to his restaurant, he okay, just bring that around back like last time where the carts go. Captain, maybe you could go back to your place, get a tarp or something. We just want to cover this up. We don't draw too much attention. We don't have a shelter for this thing. I can do that. And Sando, the turtle.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Barkeep who has been managing the seat at the end of the river in your absence. He steps out. Well, it looks like there's quite a rush. Aye, there is. And in fact, I need you to go, right now, pick up as much booze as you can. Just as much as you can. Cheap stuff, of course, but looks like we're gonna be serving a lot of people. Right, looking to whoever among the group has followed Enkai and Captain. Do any of you know how to bartend? Any of you?
No.
I'm not thinking that Mako would.
All I need is, while Sando is out, as he's making the drink run, I just need somebody to help with the crowd in any way.
Oh,
Yoshi perhaps may. If he's
So-
still in town.
Oh,
Ina went to go change, but she came like right back after she changed.
Okay.
So if he wants crowd control, this is her moment. She's been like looking forward to this her entire life. She's like, I'm gonna cash in on the part of our deal where you said I could entertain, and I'm gonna do that right now.
I will take that help.
Okay.
that is still not bartending.
No, it's not bartending, but it is crowd control. So part of being like a geisha is being an entertainer and making sure everybody feels welcome and just kind of mastering a room. And so Hina stands up and greets the crowd like, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our very humble place of business. Please grab a seat. Please order a drink and make yourselves at home. Please sample our menu and we will be having ourselves a great time this evening. And begins to usher people in to sit down. And I don't know what bartending is, but I can pour water in a cup and bring it to people, so booze can't be that different.
Go ahead and give me a general charisma check, please, Hina.
Oh boy.
There is not enough room in this little, not quite a building for 3 dozen people.
There is not. A 19.
Oh!
19. Okay.
A 19
and then
is great.
We dodged a nat 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dodge that nat 1, but a 19 is great, especially for just a general crowd. You, making your voice heard, you are an interesting figure to be standing above the crowd and are somewhat battle-worn by this point, so that definitely, actually, no, you wouldn't change. Never mind. Disregard that last point. You, regardless, still are a very interesting figure that captures the attention of this crowd, and they, in a mostly orderly fashion, take their seats, begin ordering. They are enthralled by your crowd work, and you are setting to the task of getting people what they need, possibly with the help of your compatriots. Enkai is taking the orders of people as they're coming up to like the counter area. They're telling him what they want. Mostly it pans out as, I'm sorry, we don't have that. We have crabs. And that's about it.
Yep, he has crabs.
He's got crabs.
That's what you got right now.
Yeah. So Yuri has on like a small kimono, and like he's helping to serve drinks, but he can't carry the whole tray, so he just carries one at a time.
It is adorable. Well, Enkai gets the orders one by one, working as an absolute flash in the kitchen, getting these meals prepped. Hina, you're doing crowd work. The rest of you are doing what work as to help out, or just taking a seat and watching the crowd. Perhaps a couple of people come up and seeing that you were, part of Enkai's little entourage, kind of start to ask you about what went down. You can divulge as much information as you would like to people among the crowd. I will leave that all up to your discretion. But all in all, it turns out to be a very lively scene here at the seat at the end of the river. Pretty soon, Sando comes back with with the armloads of bottles and gourds that are just like, he has this this sling on his shell that is just brimming with gourds of cheap alcohol. A couple of them are like tied on a rope cord around him. He makes his presence known by clattering a lot as he enters, getting behind the bar, getting things set up, and taking over the bartending work. Definitely a load off of the temporary servers that are found in your group. The captain comes back shortly after. He puts a tarp over Leviathan, kind of shoos away the small crowd that is kind of poking and prodding the giant crustacean in curiosity. They want to see it. They want to know what the hell this thing is. But the captain puts an end to that. And all of you are treated to a very lovely meal. All of you get bowls of rice, you get steamed crab dumplings, you get people have kind of come in at like there was a fresh catch of the day, just what Enkai and Sando could afford. So there is steamed and stewed fish. There is a small selection of seafood meals for all of you to decide whatever you're eating. Again, at your discretion, but regardless, it is lovely. Enkai's cooking is amazing, and he caters to all of his guests immaculately. So I will leave that to you guys in this moment of quiet, as you have sat around a table to eat, and if there's anything you would like to discuss at this point in time, you may do so. This is for you guys.
Neil. So, what are all of your plans past this point in festival? Are you all staying in town or passing through? Don't all speak at once. I can't. I get confused amongst so many voices.
I'm just kind of traveling around. I'm not really going for anywhere in particular. So, yeah, I guess just, I'm gonna stay here for a bit longer, like help out Enkai with the rest, and then after that, look at the temple, and
So
then
you're
I
willing
don't
to
know.
travel, perhaps?
I think so.
Very well. And of you, Hina, Yami, are you thinking of staying here in town, or are you too willing to travel?
Um, you guys are the first people that haven't, uh, been my family that's accepted me. So, I think this is good that I'll go wherever. I just, don't want to be alone anymore.
Well, Yami, I don't know why you've been alone. You're a joy to be around.
Exactly.
And Hina, if there was perhaps a destination or a location in mind, would you be willing to travel?
It kind of depends. I'm technically kind of in training, sort of.
Oh,
So I kind of, I technically have stuff to do. I need
oh,
to prove myself so I can be advanced to the next level, and I'm working on my hosting skills, and I think I did a good job here tonight, so that's something.
you did. You did
Mm-hmm.
an excellent job. But maybe, perhaps we three can help you advance to, as you said, the next level. Um,
Hmm.
if there's something that perhaps we can do to help, just say it. You've been an excellent companion and so far, and it's been exciting with you around. Oh, and Yuri is taking a bit of a liking to Keith. They at least are cordial, so um, that's nice.
That is nice. Um, we'll see. I don't know what the future holds right now,
Oh,
but I I like hanging out with you guys. It's been really great. Um, and who knows? We still have to get that stuff for Enkai, so
true.
we'll figure that out. And there are a lot of people who came here, so maybe this place will become really well known, and that will help me advance to stuff. That would be fun, right? Like,
It would be fun.
providing soul entertainment, I have this place on lock.
So, if there's anything to figure out, Hina, you have a clever mind. Getting that monstrosity from that cave to the surface was brilliant. The bunny belt worked excellently. So I hope that there is a flock of entertainment needs at the bar, and you, what do they say in the show? Break a leg or do other things, whatever. And good luck making that mark. I will be the loudest in the crowd cheering for you.
Oh, thank you. And I think, Clarabelle, given all of your restaurant experience, there's no reason that you can't also help Enkai elevate this place a bit. Like, this place could use some decoration. Just saying. Like, we're sitting on barrels.
Right. Good point.
And there's no tablecloth.
Right. And I could sous chef under him. He is an excellent cook, far better than I. Could learn a few things. Okay. Well, before the festival, perhaps we could go shopping for some decor. And, I do know and have good penmanship. I could put to work some scrolls and nail them up on opportune high traffic areas in the city and hopefully advertise for our big opening. I'll certainly put my heart and work into that. And so will Keith, won't you, Keith?
Ooh, and at our booth, I can sing I've been working on a ballad about how, like, the Leviathan was caught, and since everybody's already interested in it anyway, it's a great way to draw a crowd.
I think it would be a smash hit, actually.
It's about this time, as you guys are conversing. Those of you with the keenest of eyes notice a familiar figure enter the seat at the end of the river. He is a tall figure, so he's not easy to miss. But the
blacksmith too.
Yeah,
Daddy.
No.
You can't do this to me on an episode where you have already done rope bondage.
You can't.
Just let me get through this, please, Hina.
But I'm like this. I don't understand.
No. I know. I'm just asking you the favor of giving me a reprieve.
Okay, got it.
All right. But yes, Daigo Kamachi, the Goliath metalworker, he has entered. And this is a time where Enkai has kind of found a bit of a rest in his cooking. All the orders have been fulfilled, and he's relegated to relaxing a moment and conversing with some of the patrons who are curious about the story. Daigo is one such curious individual. You kind of overhear this conversation. You can choose to listen in, but it's not a private conversation. As Daigo. I saw this crowd coming up. Wanted to see what it was all about. I haven't seen this place so busy in a long time. And Kai. Yeah. It's nice to be put at work so hard. Again, I can't remember the last time I've nearly run out of stuff. And not because it's all gone bad. Feels nice. I have to ask something. Did you send a couple of strange folk to tail me in the middle of the night and ask me about commissioning a custom pot? Well, I didn't ask them to tail you, but I knew that I couldn't put in an order like that myself. You know where I stand with the guilds. Daigo nods. Kind of looking at this whole crowd of people. I gave your companions a price about what it would take to make such a thing, but seeing this crowd here today, and hearing what you have planned with that thing out there, I can only imagine that you're gonna draw in quite a lot of business come this springtide, so... Tell you what. I'll make what you need, on good faith. But, I'm gonna be paid a bit extra after the festival ends. 500 silver.
Oh my!
And Kai, like, you see him kind of balk at that price a bit, but he nods. 500. Looks at this crowd. 500. I'll take it. Daigo.
Wow.
Now let me get a bowl of stew. And Kai begins to fulfill that order, but yeah, that interaction ends shortly after, amicably. Seems Daigo is going back on his need for payment up front.
Yeah.
500.
Probably because the Leviathan is impressive enough.
Yeah.
Dude.
Which is what we were trying to explain to him.
Yeah. We're like, no, it's
we
like...
tried to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't listen.
Shortly after, the captain comes to sit at your table. He is in his what can only be described as his natural state of existence, which is absolutely trashed. He sits down with a heavy impact on the wooden bench as he. It was quite a party.
Oh my god, dude.
Do you know what you're gonna do about that little find, that keepsake that we took from the beastie? Got plans for it?
I was thinking I could bring it by the temple, and maybe they know what it is.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but
Do you have a plan?
Well, not so much a plan as more of a suggestion.
Okay.
There's a shop here, a store, over in the Silver Ring. Bit of an odd place. Managed by an odd fellow. Goes by the name of the Machinist. Creepy fucker. You'll find his shop in the Silver Ring, in the north part of it. Not too hard to not too easy to miss. The shop's got this image, this painting of a spider on the front of it.
Okay.
Weird thing. Like I said, the guy's a creepy fucker. But I've been in there a few times. Heard people that have gone in there too. So, from what I know, if there's something that you don't know what it is, he'll know what it is.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Oh, thank you for the suggestion.
It's whatever. Leans back, takes another swig of he's like clutching. He's clutching a fresh gourd to him. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Oh boy.
And what will you do now, Captain? Now that you've got your big haul and all your
What am I gonna do?
Your sea cred back.
What am I gonna do?
Captain,
Yeah.
you did it. You won.
Reclaim your ship.
I think for the first time since I've been in retirement, I'm going to enjoy being in retirement.
Oh.
You deserve it. You earned it, sir.
Is all he's gonna do just drink all day? Because I feel like he was doing that anyway.
No.
That's
this
the
time
plan.
He's gonna be sober.
But he's gonna be happy about it.
Oh, right.
I don't think he cared.
Right. That's the difference.
Gotta be honest, I don't think he was unhappy about his drinking all day.
Oh, no, yes. Maybe.
Maybe. Well, that sounds nice.
He doesn't have a heart attack. Well, what can we do to... Oh, yes. So, furniture and decorations and preparations. How many days do we have to this festival?
How many do we have?
You have it's 4 days. You have 4 days until the festival.
4 days.
I could be wrong on that number. It might be 3. But it's in that ballpark.
That's where we still need to get the limes.
Yeah.
We have to
We might be
lie.
able to, I mean, we know where they're at.
We gotta
Are
get
they-
Days.
the festival's coming. We have to go get all the necessities now. Otherwise, people will gobble them up.
Well, the family that owns the citrus peel, so they live outside the city.
Okay.
But they really only work with members of the family, or they accept bribes.
Bribes.
Except bribes.
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 So, like,
Yes, bribes are the money that we don't have.
or food. Hey, food is a great bribe.
Do I have bribery stuff?
Is the family that are they like already fairly like well off and like, you know, rich and they can have all their own food and everything? Because I feel like they.
The family who manages the orchard. That's what I'm gathering. Yes, that would be the Oba family.
Yes.
I'm not going to make you do a check for that. You could just discuss amongst yourselves and get this information. Yes, the Oba family they are a wealthy traditional family here on the island of Miota that has a large hand in the citrus trade. They have a string of plantations out in the outskirts of the city. They're doing well for themselves.
Gotcha. So they probably would not be tempted by, hey, you can get free meals.
But maybe one of their orchard hands or maybe a dock worker who has to transport their citrus across the water might turn the other way if, some limes fall out of the crate, Because that happens all the time.
Does it?
All the time.
All the time.
Stuff falls out of stuff all the time.
Every day.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
3 times on Sunday.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, Mako, you're really good friends with the dock people. Maybe they know who's transporting the citrus, and maybe you can be like, we could talk to them, and maybe they might be willing to look the other way for us, or maybe the captain. Captain, do you know anybody who works with the citrusy people?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The Oba family transports like citrusy stuff. Do you know anybody who helps with that?
Family's a whole bunch of rich, stuck-up assholes. They're. If I know someone, I don't like them. If I know someone who's part of the Oba family or associated with them, then they're pretty. I know them as a prick, and well, probably not willing to do any favors.
Not even.
He falls face first on the table, passed out.
Oh no! And then put his head to the side and opened his mouth so he doesn't drown in his own vomit. Yeah.
The exhaustion of the last 24 hours and the amount of drink he has had has now finally allowed the captain to drift off into a peaceful booze-soaked rest.
So I guess
you say, as if he would just collapse.
Right. If you want more information, the only question begs, who checks the docks out? Who? Oh,
I mean, I know a fair amount of the dock workers. Well, at least the Lokatha ones. So I can probably ask around a little bit.
Probably.
Can we just buy the citrus? Like, do they just sell it at a store?
How much do we need again?
Yeah.
You need,
Like, do I need a lot?
let me double check my notes. At least 3
notes.
bags of emerald peel sudachi.
Okay, it's 3 bags.
Okay. So, how much? I mean,
How much
is it really hard to
cost?
find this in market?
You know what? I'm gonna say Satoshi because you've been in this city for quite a while, and especially in the context of you've been cooking in this city for a bit. Emerald peel sudachi, these limes, they are the greatest limes in the region. They are not necessarily hard to find. They are just like an upscale markets, but they are not cheap. 3 bags. And, you're estimating of how much you would need to properly season a creature that is the size of Leviathan, and knowing how big these bags would be, that's going to be in the realm of maybe about 100 or so silver. It is not cheap.
Cool.
Every time we turn around, it's a new expense.
21.
How do we find this kind of coin?
I mean, how much money did they make tonight? There are a lot of people here.
Good point.
Yeah, Enkai's gotta pay for the giant pot still, though.
I mean, but that's after the festival, when
That's true.
he's expecting to make a lot more money.
That's also true.
These are definitely questions that you could go over Enkai after the day is done, if you would like. Something
ask him,
to
if he's willing
ruminate
to
on
chip in.
and discuss with him at a later time.
I mean, knowing that we're going to need more money, I think Hina would turn up the charm and try to get people to order more food and drink so that they spend more.
Absolutely.
Run up the tab for a lot of these like places, like a lot of these groups.
You already gave me that 19 charisma check. That is going to sway the end result.
Okay.
And of course, I'm present, so that will of course draw a few.
You want to give me a charisma check, Clarabelle?
Certainly would.
Please do. This could help or it could hurt depending on what you roll.
Hurt? What are you talking about, young man? That makes no sense.
Just give me that roll. I'm curious.
I can't guidance myself, can I?
Technically, I think you can.
Okay, so I have a personal bias against guidance. I don't necessarily like the guidance spell. The way that I rule it when you are making when you are guiding yourself or someone else, guidance, in my understanding, is to help you with a single action lasting around being 6 seconds. That is that action that the guidance is helping. Something like this is a kind of like a sustained thing. It's not just like one sentence, or you're not just talking with one person. This is a general crowd swaying charisma thing. And so even though it is a check, I'm going to rule guidance cannot be used on it.
That's fair. Problem. Me and Keith can do it and look sassy without it.
As a dungeon master, I have personal problems with the guidance spell. All right, a 16. A 16 is not bad.
Bad for the old lady?
Not bad at all.
I'm curious to know why your charisma is higher than your constitution.
Because
you know what? Forget I asked. It's wonderful. But you know what? Yeah, sure. There is definitely a diverse crowd here at the seat at the end of the river, and especially the location that it is. It's a quiet neighborhood here in the neighborhoods of Miota, a neighborhood where some of the older folks live. This is kind of like the retirement area of the city.
Wonderful.
So there is definitely a crowd for you to work with, both young and experienced, and you turn on the charm and you're talking about this venture, and you're talking about Enkai and this and that, and there is a momentum of conversation about the main topic, the reason that people are here, and your presence helps keep that momentum. So I will keep that in mind going forward.
Keith is so cute. He should be fun to pet.
But
and have fun with his bar.
They're still serving drinks. Hina's providing a little bit of music when it's kind of a lull, just to get the crowd like back in happy mode, like trying to keep everybody in that happy, relaxed zone.
Yes, we're doing it.
Yeah, we have about 13 minutes, so I'm going to ask this of a group. I'm going to give you one one interaction, one thing that you as either just one person or as a group can do, and it'll be the last thing we do with the session because it's getting a little late. So we have 13 minutes, so what do you want to do as a group?
Well, at like the very end of the night, when like the crowd has kind of gone away and we're all still sitting here, I did want to open up the little box.
Oh boy!
With people around.
Thanks, Pandora.
Yeah, that's a pretty short thing. So Mako, you go ahead and take out the box. This is a bit later. This is if there's a crowd, they're among themselves. There is not like eyes are not on you. So you take out this box. You hold it in your hand for a moment. Look at the symbol of the Green Sea Trade carved into the top of it, and you go to open it. You notice that there is an interesting way that this box opens. As you're manipulating it, just like kind of like holding it in your hand, turning it side to side, it looks like it has a very tight seal. Like, the lid isn't moving at all. There's no give whatsoever. But as you open it, it opens very easily. It opens... It opens to basically no effort whatsoever. So there is something about the nature of this box that is keeping it sealed unless it is purposefully opened.
Okay.
You open it up, and there is a small, it's like not even a handful, it's like a large pinch. It's like a scoop of this very fine black powder.
Okay. All right. I have no idea what that is.
You can make me a nature check if you'd like.
I would love to. That does not sound familiar to anything we've encountered in this campaign so
It's
far.
a relatively difficult DC.
Okay, well, nature, we got a +3. It's a 19.
Nice!
Yeah. Okay, you know what this is. You know exactly what this is.
Yes.
What is it?
Drug. Am I just becoming the goddamn, like, booze and drugs?
You've seen this come through your village a time or two. You know, the Green Sea Trade, they have a presence across all of Orizon, and their products find their way into the hands of people regardless of where they may be.
Like you.
This is a substance known as locust wings.
Oh boy.
Okay.
It is, well, it is drugs. You yourself do not know exactly how it is used. You do not have personal experience with it. You have seen its effects on some of the people in your village who have acquired a taste for this stuff. Locust wings. Let me just make sure that I have, the lore of my own stuff. That I'm not spouting something that isn't true, because I do have this written down. Just give me a moment.
I guess I'm glad I didn't open this underwater.
Not when the drugs.
No, yeah, well, just like, because then it would have just, like, I would have opened it, it would have just been, like, a black puff of, like, ink as it dissolved, and then it would just be gone, and I'd be like, dude, I don't know what that was.
It is this ashy, black, green, gray powder, and from the experience of people in your village who have acquired a taste for it, they recall experiencing visions when under the influence of this substance, and these visions range from more innocuous things, like some people have experienced conversations with people in their lives who have passed away. Other people who have had more intense experiences of soaring through the air and doing these amazing feats when in reality they are put in a state of catatonia. They get their name, locust wings. The substance gets its name from the fact that one feels like they've donned the wings of a locust and taken off sailing through the air while on this hallucinogenic trip.
I see.
There we go!
To your knowledge, it is an illicit substance here in Orizon.
I expect so.
It is not regulated by anyone except for the Green Sea Trade. Nobody knows how it's made, except for those who make it.
Right.
Oh boy.
First
Trade secrets!
The freaking special booze. Now
Trade
I found
secrets.
these drugs.
Yes, you're getting quite your reputation.
Uh,
Pretty soon your cell phone will be ringing off the hook.
oh god. Okay.
I love
So Mako will open up the box, like, very hesitantly, like, because she's expecting, like, half expecting there to be, like, some sort of magical curse item in there, And then she'll, like, glance at it and she'll be like, oh my god, and just, like, close the box again, and just put it in her bag and just be like,
What you got there, Mako?
It's never mind. It's bad.
Is it?
It's not. I'll be okay. It's not like a curse thing or anything. It's just I shouldn't show that to anybody.
Okay.
I've seen it before with people in my village that it's it's not a good thing.
Not,
I'm
is it a finger or an eyeball of someone?
no.
Hey, plausible deniability is the name of the game. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, you're not associated with this.
Yeah.
I'm just a curious old lady now. I like a guessing game. Is it gold, gems, or jewelry?
No, I don't think I should tell anyone about it anymore. I wanted to just open it in case it was harmful, like, in a magical way, because the box looked kind of weird. But I don't think, I really would like if we didn't talk about it anymore, actually.
Is it the 13 herbs and spices?
Done.
The what?
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not a cook.
I guess you don't know slang terms then.
Colonel Sanders just runs to the
Mako very
restaurant.
much does not, in fact. She has lived on an isolated little island over there her whole life up to this point, until like the last recent few weeks here. Which maybe the island gets, some cross-cultural exposure and everything. We're not that far away. But
come on, you get a little bit of the jive. Come on now.
I don't think Mako would be in that sort of thing. She is accidentally falling into all sorts of things right now, but that is not the sort of thing she would willingly go and join.
Mako's getting the reputation just despite herself. Okay.
You go to the big city once, god dang.
So funny. Come back with an eardrop tattoo.
Yeah.
An ear. I don't know if you said teardrop or eardrop, but both of them are funny. In any case, I think with the knowledge that Mako, you have acquired drugs, I think we are going to wrap ourselves up for the evening. So thank you, lords and ladies of the chat, for being here with us tonight to see the resolution of the party here and how they deal with a recently killed Leviathan. Seems like things are about to be on the upswing for their new contact, Enkai. We'll see how that all pans out as the Springtide Festival draws near. Still, there are questions that need to be answered. How will the party acquire Emerald Peel Sudachi enough to properly marinate the Leviathan?
Delicious.
What is this mysterious crimson shard that the party has now found themselves in their acquirance? And will Mako take drugs?
No! She's not gonna take the drugs.
These questions can only be answered in the coming weeks of our broadcast. But for now, we are going to end this week. So thank you for being here. Before we leave, let's go ahead and give a raid to somebody. I see that that Polished Cryptid is still streaming their D&D campaign. So we can go ahead and pop on to them for a bit of love. They did so for us a couple of weeks back. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Yeah.
Reciprocity is always good with raids.
Yep. I always go ahead and follow anybody who raids us or anybody that I've raided in the past. Just to keep that up. So
yeah.
I misspelled their name.
Oop. Yep, that happens.
Here we go. Yep, there we go. So they're going in streaming D&D tonight. So those of you that want to pop on over and check them out and give them some love from us here at Outlying Adventures. But thank you all for being here tonight. We are grateful as always. And until next we meet, safe travels. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night.